What's up, everybody? I got some breaking news here for you. So, Trump had his first ever Board of Peace meeting. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Board of Peace is basically supposed to replace the UN. It's supposed to be above the UN as the most powerful international body. The craziest thing about this Board of Peace is that it's totally made up, number one. Number two, there is no legal justification or rationale for it. And number three, Trump put himself basically as emperor for life in this position. So it's sort of crazy. It's totally insane. Trump invited a whole bunch of countries from around the world. Basically, all of the legitimate, serious, modern countries decided, we're going to go ahead and pass on this. And only like a whole bunch of corrupt countries decided to sign on. So he has this first ever Board of Peace meeting, and it was bizarre. I mean, I'm talking as bizarre can be. So, for one thing, he basically had this, 2 hours into the meeting, he had this, open mic situation where different leaders from around the world could, say whatever they want to say. And in the middle of this, he fell asleep. Homie just clonked out. And I'm not talking, nodding with his eyes barely shut. I'm talking eyes totally shut. Even when he heard some applause and woke up a little bit, even then his eyelids were heavy as a motherfucker. His eyes were maybe 2% open and 98% closed. So when we say he's deteriorating both physically and mentally, man, do we mean that. Because I don't know if you guys also noticed his hand. His fingers are red and swollen, and he is straight caking on makeup onto his hands to basically cover up the bruising from whatever medicine that he's getting injected on a regular basis. It's not looking good, bro. It is looking really, really bad. So that thing was a total humiliation and embarrassment. Funny thing is, he used to go after Joe Biden because Joe Biden would doze off in public from time to time. Now Trump seems to be doing that on a regular basis, okay? But I'm burying the lead here because although him falling asleep is kind of funny and sad and pathetic, we also have this. Trump announced that he's going to transfer $10 billion from the U.S. government to his Board of Peace, okay? This, just like the Venezuelan oil situation, is a massive slush fund with Trump's name on it. So as you all know, they're stealing Venezuelan oil, selling it on the market. Trump now has $200 million or $300 million sitting in a bank account, I think in Qatar, that he controls personally, literally personally stealing the natural resources and the profits from the sale of the oil, keeping it himself. And now it's the same thing where he's going to shake down the American taxpayer to the tune of $10 billion. I should also point out, this is completely and utterly illegal. This is not approved in any way, shape, or form from Congress. And of course, it would have to be in order to do this. But he's basically stealing $10 billion from U.S. taxpayers, putting it in an account, and pretending it's the Board of Peace money, right? And acting like it's some official shit. It's not official. It's his own account that he's going to control, and he's stealing from the American taxpayer. And this is right on top of the fact he's also asking for $10 billion because he's suing the IRS, his own IRS. So that's another way in which he's trying to shake down taxpayers and steal money and put it in his bank account. And of course, the MAGA idiots, they pretend like when Trump says, I'm not going to take a salary. I'm giving up my salary because I'm so kind. I'm so nice. I'm so magnanimous. I'm the best leader ever. They act like that's real. Like, no, he does that, and they shake down the taxpayers for $10 billion over here and pretends like it's some legitimate venture. It's not a legitimate venture. It's not even close. So, look, fact of the matter is, for the 9,000th time, he has got to be impeached. He has got to be removed. If they can't impeach, hit him with the 25th Amendment. Do something. History needs to know. If we're going to go down, we at least got to go down with a metaphorical fight. Okay, because at this point, this is beyond ridiculous. I mean, every single day, he comes up with some new creative way to commit a crime and break the law and shake down the American taxpayers. Okay, now, also, at this Board of Peace meeting, the billionaire Mark Rowan was there. Billionaire Mark Rowan. And he said that Gaza's coastline alone is $50 billion of value. Okay, and it needs to be unlocked and financed. And the World Bank president, Ajay Banga, explained how the Gaza Reconstruction and Development Fund will be managed. So understand something, this is a con. We just witnessed a live stream genocide And now they're going to build on top of the skulls of innocent men, women, and children. They're going to try to build a tech AI futuristic city. That's what this is. And they're openly talking about how impressive the Gaza coastline is and how they can't wait to build a bunch of hotels and casinos over there. This is depraved. This is, I mean, look, if I'm being honest about this, it's like watching a meeting about the creation of the Fourth Reich. That's what this is. You still have innocent people starving to death and getting murdered by Israel in tent cities where they're hanging on for their lives by a thread. And here these idiots are casually talking about how they're going to profit off of land that's not theirs. So just super, super disturbing stuff. To talk about how this really feels like we're an idiocracy at this point, at the end of the meeting, Trump bangs a small golden gavel to say, hey, meeting adjourned. And then, I'm not kidding about this, they started playing the YMCA. The YMCA, which is what he seemingly plays at all of his rallies and shit. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. At the same time all this is going on, there's a new banner that just went up at the Department of Justice headquarters, and it's the same one that they put at the Labor Department, and it's literally a giant Donald Trump face. It's a face-on picture of Donald Trump. And, I mean, we're now at the point where, the comparisons are endless. This is an authoritarian regime, a fascist regime. We act like some sort of banana republic, some sort of tin pot dictatorship, because to put the face of the president over the Department of Justice, which of course is supposed to be neutral, is supposed to be objective, justice is supposed to be blind, they're supposed to be independent and not truly under the thumb of the president, okay? And at the same time, they're doing all these political persecutions and violating the law in doing so and failing at them, might I add. But in the midst of doing that, you throw up the face of Donald Trump on a giant banner on the Department of Justice. This is a fucking disgrace. This is a disgrace. And again, I want to reiterate, none of this is acceptable. None of this is allowed. None of this has been greenlit by Congress, which of course it would have to be. This is a shameful moment in American history. Okay, and then to add insult to injury here, we also have Donald Trump came out and tweeted the following, in all caps, of course. He said, "The United States trade deficit has been reduced by 78% because of the tariffs being charged to other companies and countries. It will go into positive territory during this year for the first time in many decades. Thank you for your attention to this matter." So to reiterate, he said, the U.S. trade deficit has been reduced by 78%. Ready for this? This is from the Washington Post earlier today. Breaking news, the U.S. trade deficit for goods hit a record $1.2 trillion last year, even as the Trump administration pursued a trade agenda with aggressive tariffs. So it is a record $1.2 trillion trade deficit. As Trump says, I just reduced it 78%. So this is, to call these lies at this point is an injustice to the word lie. I honestly think we need a stronger, beefier word than lie, because he's now surpassed that, and he's like the Ubermensch of lies. He's now hit mega ultra lie territory. I got to workshop the vocabulary here, but you get the point. Lie is not a strong enough term. He's like the Mecca liar. This is just, it's preposterous. It's preposterous. It's absurd. And he always fucking gets away with it. He keeps getting away with crazy shit like this. And then I also wanted to point out, this is a big deal here. The Wall Street Journal says the U.S. is sending significant numbers of fighter jets and support aircraft to the Middle East, assembling the greatest amount of air power in the region since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. So we discussed this the other day. Axios is reporting that an attack on Iran is, quote, imminent. There's speculation that they're even going to use tactical nuclear weapons, which, to be fair, that one was on 4chan. It's totally unverified. But having said that, 4chan does have a decent record in recent time, and they've gotten some things right, like when they predicted the AI companies were going to try to recreate your dead relatives, okay? But it's looking like an attack is imminent, and now the Wall Street Journal is highlighting, now we're assembling a record amount of shit. I mean, we're talking about endless fighter jets. We're talking about countless warships. I mean, this is now they have done a massive buildup, the likes of which we haven't seen since 2003, which was the invasion of Iraq. And if that's not a sign that some shit's about to pop off, I don't know what is, dog. I don't know what is. So that is a horrifying thing. And I have to point this out. Adam Johnson makes this point on Twitter. I think he's 100% correct. Still not a single statement from Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries. They're completely asleep and checked out because Trump is doing their dirty work for them while they maintain plausible deniability. They'll wait about 36 hours, and then after the bombs are falling, they'll do some limp dick fucking process complaint about, sir, you didn't get approval from Congress, but if you did, we probably would have said yes. So that's the fucking problem. By the way, this isn't just at Hakeem Jeffries. This isn't just at Chuck Schumer. If you're a Democrat and you're in Congress or the Senate, motherfucker, you should be screaming at the top of your lungs right now. You should be talking about impeachment. You should be saying this is an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us. There's no threat whatsoever that they're going to attack us. This is the U.S. doing Netanyahu's dirty work because Netanyahu wants regime change because he wants to build a greater Israel in the region. So tell the truth. Tell the truth. All of this is avoidable. None of this has to be done. If we attack, we are the baddie. It's not an open question. It's not a difficult one to piece together. Again, they're no threat to us whatsoever. Why isn't every Democrat talking about that? Why aren't they all screaming about that? This is absolutely pathetic. Obama solved this issue. He did the nuclear peace agreement with Iran, and it was being upheld perfectly. Not according to me, not according to Democrats, according to the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency. There wasn't an issue. Then Donald Trump illegally pulled us out of that deal and ripped it up. Biden didn't get us back in it, and now Trump is looking to do regime change for the Israel lobby benefactors that he has. Remember, he's taken over $100 million from Miriam Adelson. So just absolutely disgusting. And I need the Democrats to be screaming about this, and unfortunately they're not, which means it might go down, y'all. It's about to go down. It could absolutely go down at any given moment now, and that's a terrifying, terrifying thing. And then finally, look, let me say this. Everybody's got sign up below on Substack for Crystal Kyle and Friends because we have a Crystal Kyle and Friends episode dropping tomorrow. It's just me and Crystal, but I'm going to give you a whole bunch of new, spicy, crazy Epstein updates, including the former Prince Andrew has been arrested for his ties to Epstein and what's come out in the Epstein files, okay? So he's been arrested. We'll talk about that, and I'll give you all the other Epstein updates, and some of them are just mind-boggling, okay? And then we'll also talk about the former South Korean president has now been sentenced to life. Why? For an insurrection. For the exact same thing that Donald Trump did, and now Donald Trump is sitting in the White House. So if you're keeping track here, Brazil arrested Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro did what Trump did. They had their January 6th actually on January 8th, okay? And so his ass is locked up. And now you have the former South Korean president who also tried an insurrection and declared martial law. His ass is locked up. We're the only country that lets these sick sons of bitches get away with it. The only one. So me and Crystal will talk about that as well. So again, sign up below for Crystal Kyle and Friends. You don't want to miss that. And I'll talk to everybody soon. Peace.